Good morning, class. Today, we're going to delve into the topic of talking about dislikes in English. We often express our preferences and dislikes in everyday conversations, and today we'll learn how to do it effectively. Let's get started. The first way to talk about dislikes is by using the verb dislike. For example, I dislike spicy food. This simple construction allows us to express our negative feelings towards something. Can anyone provide an example using dislike?
I dislike horror movies.
Excellent. That's a perfect example. Now, let's move on to the second way. Another way to express dislikes is by using the phrase, can't stand. This phrase emphasizes a strong feeling of dislike or irritation towards something or someone. For instance, I can't stand noisy neighbors. Now let's see an example of a daily life conversation that demonstrates the use of can't stand in the context of expressing dislikes.
Hey, do you want to go to that new coffee shop downtown?
No, thanks. I can't stand the smell of coffee.
Oh, I didn't know you had such a strong aversion to it. Let's find another place then.
In this conversation, person B uses can't stand to express their strong dislike for the smell of coffee. Person A acknowledges the dislike and suggests finding an alternative. Can anyone provide another example using can't stand?
I can't stand people who are always late.
Perfect. You've got it. Now, let's move on to the third way. We can also express dislikes by using the phrase don't like. This is a more general way to communicate negative feelings towards something. For example, I don't like winter weather. Now let's see an example of a daily life conversation that demonstrates the use of don't like in the context of expressing dislikes.
Are you coming to the beach with us tomorrow?
I'm sorry, but I don't like the beach. I prefer staying indoors.
That's okay. We'll catch up with you later.
In this conversation, person B uses don't like to express their dislike for the beach. Person A acknowledges the preference and accepts their decision. Can anyone provide another example using don't like?
I don't like spicy food.
Great job. You're catching on quickly. Let's proceed to the fourth way. We can use the phrase not a fan of to express dislikes. This phrase indicates a lack of enthusiasm or preference for something. For instance, I'm not a fan of reality TV shows. Now let's see an example of a daily life conversation that demonstrates the use of not a fan of in the context of expressing dislikes.
Have you seen the latest superhero movie?
No, I'm not a fan of superhero movies. I prefer comedies.
That's understandable. Everyone has their own preferences.
In this conversation, person B uses not a fan of to express their lack of interest in superhero movies. Person A acknowledges the preference and understands their choice. Can anyone provide another example using not a fan of?
I'm not a fan of spicy food.
Excellent choice. You're doing great. Now, let's move on to the fifth way. We can also express dislikes by using the phrase find something/someone annoying. This phrase indicates that something or someone bothers or irritates us. For example, I find loud music annoying. Now let's see an example of a daily life conversation that demonstrates the use of find something/someone annoying in the context of expressing dislikes.
Did you meet our new neighbor?
Yes, and I find their constant barking dog annoying. It disturbs the peace.
I understand how that can be bothersome. Maybe we should talk to them about it.
In this conversation, person B uses find their constant barking dog annoying to express their dislike for the neighbor's noisy pet. Person A acknowledges the annoyance and suggests a possible solution. Can you think of another example using find something/someone annoying?
I find people who chew loudly annoying.
Well done. You're really getting the hang of it. Now, let's discuss the final way. We can use the phrase can't bear to express intense dislikes or aversions. This phrase conveys a strong emotional reaction towards something. For instance, I can't bear the smell of cigarettes. Now let's see an example of a short daily life conversation that demonstrates the use of can't bear in the context of expressing dislikes.
Are you going to the concert tomorrow?
No, I can't bear the noise and crowds at concerts.
That's completely understandable. Not everyone enjoys that environment.
In this conversation, person B uses can't bear to express their intense dislike for the noise and crowds at concerts. Person A acknowledges the aversion and respects their decision. Can you think of another example using can't bear?
I can't bear the taste of olives.
Fantastic example. You've grasped the concept perfectly. That concludes our lesson on talking about dislikes in English. I hope you now feel confident expressing your dislikes using these different phrases. Remember to practice using them in your conversations and written work. Keep up the great work, and see you in our next class.